Hello and welcome to the Islamic Finance Weekly, where we discuss key developments in the non-interest finance markets. Halal, which is a segment in the non-interest market, hinges on integrity, quality of food supply, safety, investment, and trust. Today on this special edition of the program with FBNQuest, we'll be discussing Halal, the wins, gaps, and the capital sweet spots. This conversation is set to enlighten individuals, both Muslims and non-Muslims, on the concept of halal and the opportunities it provides, which covers the economy, business, and the capital markets. Our special guests today are Ifeoluwa Dixon, who is the head of Fixed Income Solutions FBNQuest Asset Management, and Aisha Wanka, Relationship Manager FBNQuest Asset Management. It is nice to have you both on the program today, and thank you for taking the time to participate in this discourse.
Thank you for having me. Morning.
You're welcome. The global halal finance industry is currently estimated at over $2 trillion. Ifeoluwa, could you please provide us with a brief insight into the concept of halal and its relevance to financial markets and economies?
Thank you so much again for bringing me back on this program. And so to your question, it's all about what is halal investment. I'll start with that. And so halal investments, like we know, it's a Sharia compliant investment to start with. And it's investing in accordance to the Sharia and principles of Islamic laws. Now, there are three guiding rules or three key rules, that would guide the concept of investments or halal investments. And one, that is riba. Your investment must not attract interest rates. Let me put it that way. Two is haram. Whatever assets you're doing or investment you're embarking on must not have a pork involvement in it, pornography. You're not buying military hardware and the likes. And number three of the key rules really is gara, which has to do with uncertainty. And, Islamic law is against sale of something that you can't even predict. And so uncertainty or chance or risk is prohibited as well. So once you are in accordance to these three key rules, right, then you can say, okay, that is investment, Sharia compliant investing that you want to do. And so again, bringing it back to your question, having laid down the foundation of what halal investment is all about, is then how it has impacted our economy. And I would say it has in a great dimension. We've seen development in some sectors that we've not been seeing before. And a good example will be infrastructure, which is road. FGN, federal government, they've come to the market to raise sukuk 3 times. And the 3 times, again, they were targeted across roads. And if anyone has applied this road, the geopolitical areas where these roads have been constructed, you would indeed see what has gone on in that aspect. And so it has brought about development in those areas. Another one is Reits. In Q4 2020, we saw the first Islamic Reits that was launched. And, is bringing about housing again. And so development in the housing sector is ongoing. We saw more recently another one that was issued by another issuer, which as well is Islam halal compliant. And so we're seeing developments in that area. We have some private individuals or sector to school as well. Oshun did one that has to do with school. And so all these are really targeting towards economic development. It has also improved in the area of financial inclusion. Before now, we have seen some people that are unbanked just because of their faith. But with the introduction of these into our financial system, the unbanked level as well has reduced, and so we are seeing financial inclusion in some areas of the country that we haven't seen before, just because we have instruments that are now Sharia compliant.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. That is quite insightful, and I appreciate you for taking us through the opportunities, investment opportunities in Islamic finance, particularly the halal investments and what the federal government has been doing in Islamic finance since inception. Thank you very much. So to Aisha, there are a lot of investment ideas in halal for someone to invest in. Could you enlighten us on some of these investment ideas and the developing trends shaping the halal finance industry?
Well, thank you for that question. There have been a significant growth in the halal industry. We have seen the introduction of mutual funds, Islamic mutual funds by FBNQuest, Islamic United Capital. Although the significant growth has been in the sukuk, right? We saw with the Ocean, which was the first one in 2013. Then we saw 3 other sukuk that the federal government had, launched, and was oversubscribed. Now, this has really contributed to the growth. As Ife stated earlier, we saw how it impacted, and the trend is of more growth. We can see the introduction of private sukuks. We can see real estate, going to real estate, which was launched, which will help the economy. And you can also see, even with fintech, with non-saving accounts that has been introduced. So it's an up. You can see the trend going within the local economy.
Well noted, Aisha. It's very important to understand the trends in the halal market, as you said. So I am pretty sure that Ifeoluwa will want to react to what you just said on halal investment. So my question to you, Ifeoluwa, is that in emerging economies like Nigeria, how can investment firms like FBNQuest Asset Management help both Muslims and non-Muslims keep up with their investment, personal finance, and entrepreneurial journey?
What easily comes to my mind is education. And that's in the aspect of, educating, the investing public. You can't just stop. You need this continuous education, that we need to be given to the investing public for them to know that there is an aspect of the financial system that can cater for their needs. And like you rightly mentioned, it's not just for Muslims, we are for non-Muslims as well can invest into it. And it's for, people that are socially responsible. It's about responsible investing. It's about ethical as well, And so once your belief is aligned to that ethical principle, social responsibleness, and all sorts, then, anything Allah suits you. And so I would say education, programs like these as well would help, which is as well educating people. So workshops, seminars, webinars would as well, bring about awareness in these, our climates, if I can put it that way. And another one is community building. And so for investment firms, aside just creating the structure or creating the product, it's about giving financial advisories as well as a service to the investing public. And so you may have someone that wants to just do 1 or 2 things that is in need of funds. And if the product or the business the person wants to venture into is Sharia compliant, then you should be able to assist, to give direction, guidance. And these are things that will actually deepen the industry. These are things that will actually as well bring about growth in the economy.
Thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. Education, community building are very important. Also, the regulatory environment are key to Islamic finance growth in Nigeria. So back to you, Aisha. Responsible investing that is faith-based is becoming an attractive segment of the financial market. How critical is Sharia compliance in the investment guidelines of halal?
It is very, very critical. Because as you can see, a lot of people, when they go to invest, they're not even aware that their values, they're not getting what aligns with their values. directly or indirectly. Now, when you have a Sharia compliance body, they are professionals that will screen all the products that the Islamic financial house is issuing. So they are able to assess that it complies to the Sharia guidelines. So the customer is comfortable that all his values align. Everything he's doing aligns to that. So that makes them very, very critical.
All right, Aisha, you've spoken clearly about Sharia compliance fund, which I believe our viewers have learned one or two things from it. Let me ask Ifeoluwa about halal investment options. Some will say the greatest challenge we have in Nigeria on Islamic finance is the education gap on how the non-interest market products work. Can you take us through the halal investment types and how they operate?
So we have various investment types, just like we have in the conventional world as well. The same thing applicable, only with another layer of it being ethical. So if you think about trust financing, and I'll bring it to maybe something like mutual funds. If I want to describe it to a Sharia compliant person, I would say that's mudaraba. And what is mudaraba is all about trust financing. So that is one. Trust financing where it involves investor or investors and the manager. And so the investors are capital providers. They bring in their funds. If it's one, we call them Rab Al-Mal, right? And then you have the manager that is called Mudarib, if I'm correct. But yes, you have the manager. And so, you come together, the manager is managing the capital on behalf of the investors. And when there is profit, you share the profits at the predetermined ratio, before embarking on the contract. And when there is a loss, the capital provider bears the loss. The manager is made whole. Then we have another one, Musharaka. Musharaka is all about partnership. Think about it, of people coming together to embark on a business venture. There is room for that as well in Islamic finance. And so you come together, you have partners, you come together, you can have active partners, you can have sleeping partners, but they all bring their funds together, different equity being contributed to embark on a business venture. If there is profit, you share it according to the predetermined ratio. You would have agreed on the ratio that you're going to share your profit. And if there is a loss, business is all about profit and loss. You can't just be expecting upward trends all along. And so when there is a loss in your business as well, you share the loss in accordance to your equity contribution, not agreed the predetermined rate again. You have Ijara. What is Ijara? Lease and sale and lease back, right? And so you're leasing equipment to people to make use of, using it in a Sharia compliant way as well. Remember the three rules: riba, haram, and gara. So whatever assets, must not involve these three key rules that I've mentioned earlier. Then we have the murabaha. What is murabaha? Murabaha is cost plus margin. You want to buy a laptop, you don't have funds, you've approached a financial institution, they will buy the laptop for you, you will agree the price, they will agree, and then you agree the margin, and then you spread it. And so it's like cost plus, margin, whereby your something is being financed. We have istisna, and this has to do with construction or manufacturing. And that again is you enter into a contract with someone to manufacture, to construct something in a specific way. So you need this laptop, you're saying, construct this laptop for me to do this function for me. The model must be this, the color must be this. That is this thing, and then you pay and it's for it to be delivered. We have salam, we have so many. We have salam, which is future delivery. And what is that? You're buying something, you're paying for a good, for a specific good, a specified one, model. Exactly. I need a car. It must be this color, that one, this model, the gear must be like this. And so you buy that, and then you are delivering it in the future date, or you are making the payment today. And so all these are contracts that are available in the Islamic world that anyone can invest into. And even the Islamic finance, we have the origination type of things, deals as well, that they will originate all these together, bring it into a structured product and offer it to individuals or even to corporate organizations as well. And like as well, you have the sukuk, which is, the sukuk can be in the form of istisna, it can be in the form of ijara or salam as well. And so these are contracts that are Sharia compliant that you can invest into as well.
Very insightful point from you, Ifeoluwa, and well explained on halal investment and ideas on how they operate. Thank you very much for that. Now for you, Aisha, standardization and certification are well-known methods to reduce transaction cost. Is this currently factored in the Nigerian non-interest finance market, considering expenses incurred in halal finance?
Okay, you have regulators like CBN, SEC and others that sort of provide the guidelines, right? That if you're paying, that you have to follow. What we should be looking at, the focus would be that the scholars, Islamic scholars, based on this, will bring in, should I say, standardized guidelines, simple ones for each contract. For instance, if they're doing a contract, because there's a standard on how you follow, it creates that standardization I'm talking about. And as the market keeps on growing, it reduces those costs that we're talking about, because you have examples and how things are supposed to be done. So gradually you find those costs that we're talking about is not so significant as you mentioned.
As we wrap up, can you both share with us how the integration of risk management enables the sustainability of halal investment pools in places like Nigeria? I'll start with you, Ifeoluwa, on that.
Halal itself is all about, wearing the cap of a risk manager. Because there are certain things, the do's and the don'ts are just clear. Aisha has spoken about standardization. Because it's being governed by the Islamic law, you can't just come and bend it to say it must suit you like that. And in addition to that, again, aside you having your risk management framework as an organization, if you're going into anything halal, Sharia compliance, like we like to call it, you have another layer aside your investment committee, another body that checkmates what you're doing, the Sharia Advisory Board Council. You call them phrase or ACE, as we want to call them. But they are there to provide oversight on what you're investing. So if the risk is not in line with the returns, they are there to just stop you there. And what are the risks associated with Sharia? Is the greatest one is ensuring that the investment itself is Sharia compliant. Because the moment it's not, what are you doing? It's like nothing. You've just destroyed the whole thing. And so the biggest risk is ensuring that your investment, your assets, underlying assets, are Sharia compliant. And so the ACE Sharia advisory body that you as an organization you've constituted ensures that yes, your investments are Sharia compliant. Once that is clear, then you have the normal risk, market risk, liquidity risk, credit risk involved, which again, your risk management framework will deal with. So you can't say because, there is asset tied to it, Sharia compliant, everyone is Islamic compliant scholars, and you just throw risk off the roof. No, in fact, it's stricter when it comes to Sharia compliant investments.
Okay, can we hear from you, Aisha, on the question?
Thank you. As Ife stated, right, she's sort of giving an overview, but I'll just re-emphasize that for the Sharia advice, it has to be greater involvement. We have them, companies have them. It's good to have them. It brings comfort to the investor. But that real involvement in every aspect, as we know, risk is very important, is key in any type of investment, any type of financial risk is key. But as Ife mentioned, that greater involvement with the advisors is very key. They have to partake in every aspect. It gives you that reassurance as an investor that the basic risk management is being done, and most importantly, the Sharia guidelines are adhered to strictly. Now, when you have that comfort, you can go to sleep.
All right, Aisha, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa Dixon, Head Fixed Income Solutions, FBNQuest Asset Management, as well as Aisha Wanka, Relationship Manager, FBNQuest Asset Management. Good to talk to you again, Ifeoluwa, and thank you both.
Thank you
for joining us this morning. It was nice speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Do have a great day.
You too.
Aisha.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sharia compliant funds have a long history and have evolved into a critical part of the global investment and financial market. For regions like Africa, there are enormous opportunities for tapping into the funds. A major takeaway here is the need for standardization and an enabling regulatory environment that will deepen the activities in the Nigerian non-interest market that has witnessed remarkable and innovative products like the FBNQuest Halal Fund. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Visit brochureng.com website to read more on Islamic finance. Click on WebTV banking channel to watch the Islamic Finance Weekly videos. You can also follow us on our social media platform displaying on the screen. Many thanks for watching. See you next week Friday for another exclusive interview.